Hi there, this is Paul Hunt, Office Server and Services MVP, and today I'd like to just take another look at Azure AD group-based licensing for Office 365, and in particular now I want to look at what happens when we hit license assignment issues. Now this is going to happen from time to time. You may add users into different groups, and Azure is basically not going to be able to assign that license. So what we want to do is look at the reporting that comes from the Azure portal and how you can easily remedy these errors. So I'm back in my on-premises environment here, and you'll see if you watch the previous video that I've since added a new group here of Office 365 Full Kiosk K1. And what we're going to do is we're going to use this to assign a K1 license to a group in the Office portal. So if I switch to the portal now, and we go to Azure Active Directory, I've already synced this group and I've already set it up in the portal. So if we go to Licenses, we can see our products, all products, and Enterprise K1. If I click on this, we can see that although there's no users assigned yet, we do have a group and it's active, and we've got all the services enabled. So that's excellent. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go back to my on-premises environment, and we're going to add Kazim again to this group. Now we already added Kazim yesterday to the E3, so what I'm expecting to see now is that it will go, oh, I can't add Kazim because he's already got an E3, and frankly you don't want to double assign licenses that give access to the same system. So there we go, there's Kazim added, and if I start my sync now, and we'll just let that run and I'll come back to you in a second. So the sync process has run and the group membership has changed. So if we click into our K1, we can see that there's still one license available, and we know that that's not right, and sure enough we come in here, there's no users. So if we go into the license groups, now, I'd very much like to see these license errors at a slightly higher level, but hopefully this is something that Microsoft will improve on. But if we click into the kiosk group, and we can see that license changes have been applied, but also there's a license error. So if we click into here, we can see that Kazim has a conflicting service pan. So again, if we click further through, we can see that he has an E3 that's active and a K1 that conflicts. So if we click into the K1, we start to see an even greater breakdown on which ones are conflicting. So this is great if there was perhaps just one of the plans was conflicting, and we might need to adjust our group licensing accordingly. But the fix for this one is quite simple. We just go back and we're going to remove Kazim from that group. We know that he doesn't need that license, and we'll run a sync again. So what will happen now in the background, the sync will run, the licensing issues will be removed, and we'll actually come back to the group and this error will disappear. So we won't actually need to go through any further to look at the errors. So I'll come back to this in a moment and we'll refresh. So we've had plenty of time now for that to run, so I'm just going to flick back to members, and we'll see there's now no members because we've removed Kazim. If we click on licenses, license changes have been applied and there's no error, that's now gone. So that's excellent. We've remediated the error and removed that. As I said, I'd like to see a little bit more visibility. I'm hoping that that's going to change over time. If we just go back to the top of the licensing, it is good to see that there's a nice audit log. Now I'm not sure how up to date this is going to be, so at the moment, yeah, it's showing actions from yesterday. Again, I'd like to have seen perhaps more visible alerts that there's been issues. It would be nice maybe if the notifications, but it's important to understand that this is still in preview, so we're going to hopefully see some improvements around this kind of notifications and reporting side of things. I'm certainly passing my comments back to the Azure AD team, and if you guys start looking at this and playing with it in production, then it'd be good to pass that back as well.